Oh, hello. What are you guys doing here?
We were just having a little party here at the Cult Show. Today, it's Caleb's Cult Show birthday.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys.
What's going on?
Yeah,
What's going
because it's
on?
not like Caleb's like real birthday, but it's like when we're celebrating with y'all at home. Tonight, oh, it's a big one. It's Waterworld.
Yes.
It's Waterworld. Talk about Waterworld. This was Caleb's birthday pick. So
y'all already know
Okay.
what we're in for.
We're in for a rip-roaring good time. That's what we're in for. Like
Yeah.
every time you join us on the Cult Show.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We've got a big crew in the chat, it looks like. Which
They're
is
all excited to
great
celebrate Caleb.
as we all do. Let's cheers to Caleb.
Happy
And our friends.
birthday,
Caleb.
Caleb. But before we get into the
Caleb.
world of water, and dive into Caleb, like all of the Magic School Bus, let's talk about what we've been enjoying. No spoilers.
None. Not
But-
a spoil.
True Detective season.
Oh, yes.
We have 1 or 2 episodes left.
I have two.
2. You have 2. Oh my god! Did you finish it?
No, I'm done.
Okay. It's everything. It's everything. And then I heard today, I don't know if this is confirmed, that Issa Lopez is also doing season 5.
Oh, really?
That because this has been such a rip roaring success.
Okay.
Cool. I'm glad to
Everything
hear
tonight is rip roaring.
that. Okay. Rip roaring.
I think I said this on Genre Junkies, but Jodie Foster is God, and I will not be taking any questions. That's just on that. But I love everything about.
No,
the
I love
show.
her character in this. She's just so
Yeah.
Steph.
cantankerous.
Oh, she's just.
But she's also a hot mess, and she's
yes,
Right.
like we
just-
all are.
Yeah, I mean it's
I
Just
love-
a tender swiping, outraging alcoholic.
Funny. I love everybody in the show. I love
Yeah.
so much so much use of indigenous actors as well. It's really cool. It's creepy as fuck.
But it's also when they set a show or a movie in a place like this,
Yeah.
in the snow, in this like
Yes.
bleak, deserted, like no one should be living there really.
Except
And let's
for
be
us.
honest. Okay, well maybe you and I,
Yeah,
maybe, and we invite these guys over for Thanksgiving or whatever.
they'd be like, "Thanks,
But-
we hate it."
Yeah, but it's just I love it. It's really it's so good. It's so atmospheric and
So atmospheric.
I mean it's just such a good. We knew Issa would do a good job,
We knew it.
so
She cradled us in her arms and she said, "Shush, shush, my babies. It
Yes.
will be okay."
it'll be.
I watched 2 movies that were both kind of meh. I watched Dashcam because I've just been wanting to watch it. I keep seeing imagery from it, so I was like, okay.
Is that a Shutter?
It wasn't on Shutter. I
No,
can't
no,
remember, but it was made in I think it was made in 2020, came out in 2021, so it's like a COVID film, and it's kind of, it's not found footage, but it has like a found footage vibe because it's like shot on basically a dash cam. It's kind of the
okay.
idea. Fun, entertaining, but not great.
Not great.
Not
Okay.
great.
Hulu.
Hulu.
Oop.
And then I also watched on Shudder. I watched Wait for Instructions, which is a British film set during Christmas. That one was kind of weird too, because it was kind of like 2 movies in one. It was one of those where it's like you feel like you're watching one movie, and there was another movie, and one of those movies I liked more than the other movie when they put them together. So it was kind of like, why couldn't it all have been how like that part? I liked that part. What else? I mean, really, all that matters is True Detective. It's all that matters.
Yep.
It's all that matters anymore.
Okay.
I'm gonna go next because we're saving Caleb for last. A, it is his birthday. B, he has something exciting to announce. Number 1, I watched a crazy, funky '80s musical called Voyage of the Rock Aliens. I had never seen it before. I'd never heard of it before.
Same.
But it
Never.
just got popped up on something, and I'm like, that sounds insane. I'm gonna watch that. And then I watched it. I'm like, holy crap, that sucks. But it's one of those so bad that it's a car wreck, and you kind of have to look at it, kind of things, you know.
Yeah.
The music wasn't good, and it didn't make sense, but it is so 80s, so freaking 80s with the outfits, and like the bad guys roll up in their motorcycles wearing their cool sunglasses, and they're getting all bad and dancing around each other, you know. And I mean, I don't know, it's nuts. It's on Tubi, I think, is where I saw it.
Nice.
If anyone wants a crazy ass movie that doesn't make any sense.
Do the aliens look good?
No, they're humans. They're just human. I mean, they look like humans.
Oh, boring.
Yeah, but it's just one of those things where I think they tried. They took this seriously, which makes it even worse.
Very earnest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then I watched We Are the World documentary, the Greatest Night in Pop, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And like Sandra said, and everyone else is saying, it really is a great time.
Did you love it?
I did. I loved it because
Lionel Richie's like the best part. He's so good at storytelling.
I mean, he is really good. Huey Lewis, I also I love Huey Lewis.
I mean, he was great, but I mean, like Lionel Richie, like knows how to like tell a story and like
He
set
does.
up a story.
He does.
Really
Well, because he's so integral to the whole song happening, and the fact that he is kind of the centerpiece. He is the anchor of the whole thing, and he does a fantabulous job.
God, when he's talking about MJ, I was rolling on the floor.
Yeah, no, it was cool, but it was. I mean, if you live through it, it's even more spectacular just to see how all the footage and what really happened that we didn't know about at the time. And if you just know about the song, of course, it's still awesome. So I mean, it was really a lot of fun. That's on Netflix. I definitely think people should check that out. I think it should be a prerequisite if you want to continue breathing air.
Whoa.
You should watch this.
Whoa.
You should watch this.
I mean, I recommended it.
Because, you know,
But you still allowed us to
watch it or
Sandra.
die, according to Neil.
Watch it or suffocate. Those are your
Hey,
choices.
Dennis Hopper.
Yeah, really. Okay. The latest Creep Show series on Creep Show on Shudder.
Yes.
Right. So
Talk about
it posted, months and months ago.
Yeah.
I finally got through the whole thing. The very last episode, they had this fantastic. It's been meh. The whole thing's been meh.
Okay,
But the
I
very
haven't
last
seen an
episode
of this one.
yeah, the last episode was about George Romero, and it was done by Greg Nicotero, and it was this loving tribute to George, where basically this old bookstore in their basement is their stores were like George Romero's offices used to be, and they go in the basement, they uncover this box, they open it up, and it's like comic books George made but never released, and then they had these special 3D glasses in them that were like George Romero big old glasses.
Nice.
And when you looked at him, it brought the zombies out to life. So the zombies came out and started, but you could only see them if you had the 3D glasses on.
Damn.
But then to fight the zombies, they decided to bring George Romero out of the comic. And so they used it and they brought it. I stared, she was like, I probably got tears in my eyes.
Did you cry a little?
You know, because it was like, oh. I mean, it wasn't real George Romero. It was an actor playing him.
Right.
And it was done
That's
like,
really
he was
sweet,
still
though.
drawn, but it was sweet. And I was just like, it was like, this is so fucking cool because I love George Romero and I love that they did that for him.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's just watch the one episode. It's called George Romero in 3D.
Oh,
It's like season 4, I think, of Creep Show on
I think
Shudder.
it's season 4.
Just watch that one. The rest don't worry about. But it was
Don't worry about him.
it was awesome. I loved it. Let's see. Hey, did you know?
Go on.
This is crazy. We actually are the #1 podcast for film reviews in Fiji, and we've been like on the list for like 3 or 4
Aloha
days.
and Vanaka.
Wow.
Yes, and we're #2 in TV and film. And in the entire country of Fiji, of all podcasts, all of any genre, we're 106 most popular
Wow.
for like days and
Fiji.
days and days. All of a sudden.
Thank you, guys.
So
I love Fijians.
I love your water. I love your island.
I love your islands.
Zuh.
I had a wonderful, wonderful week there. I would love to go back sometime.
Yes.
Have us, Fiji.
Yeah.
Have us, please. That's so sweet.
Please, Fiji. We appreciate you very much. Thank you.
we appreciate those of you not in Fiji. But
it's true,
look
we
at
do.
what our friends in Fiji did, and maybe, try
you
to be
go.
more like them.
Be like that.
There you
Like
go.
them.
Perfect.
Did I ever tell you my Lionel Richie story about Fiji?
No, but it's apropos. You might as well.
I know,
mean,
right?
and
Well,
if
no,
you-
when I was there, so I was staying at my resort, and there was a woman that worked with the hotel. I'm not sure exactly what she did, but every morning we would go out for breakfast, and I'd walk through the lobby, and she would be on one side of the other of the lobby, and I would be on the other side, and she would always yell out, "Good morning, Lionel Richie!"
Wow.
I would just wave at her. And
So was she?
go have some pineapple.
Was she just like being funny?
She's being very funny.
Okay,
She's being
okay.
very, very, very.
Did she
sweet.
work there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
everything makes a lot more sense.
Sorry,
than
did I
like,
not say
yeah.
that she worked there?
I don't know that she did.
Oh, okay.
I like this story a lot now.
There was a woman that worked there.
Yeah.
Even if she didn't, I'm okay with that.
that would call me Lionel Richie every time I walked through the lobby.
Did you sing?
No, I didn't do anything.
Did you dance on the ceiling? Is that why she would say that?
Thank you, and
Can you
just,
sing?
I didn't get any sort of discount.
Ah.
Well, that's ridiculous.
I know, right? And yet, I still love Fiji.
There you go. And then finally, I just want to bring up cult film series for March is going to be starting up on March 7th with Cemetery Man and Dead Heat. So if you enjoy your horror films with a little bit of ha 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 and a little bit of what the hell, I recommend that.
Yeah.
Ho ho ho. Yes.
Love Tralalas.
And a couple of follow-laws even. Then
don't
I would
fucking
recommend
know.
March 7th. And then finally, we're doing something for the sci-fi fans on the 21st of March with 2010 and Outland. So please come visit us in Santa Rosa, California at the Roxy 14 for the cult film series. Caleb, I yield the floor
All right.
Yield.
to this distinguished gentleman.
So, speaking of Roxy 14, a fun movie that we all watched together opens today, stop motion.
Oh, so good.
Specifically here at the Roxy 14. I know this isn't getting a super wide release, but I definitely suggest checking this out.
Yes.
It's a lot
So
of
good, you
fun.
guys.
It's dark. It's really, really interesting.
We all liked it.
Like original idea that
Yeah.
Yeah.
the execution was great.
You got to check it out. If you guys have the opportunity, absolutely take it.
Yeah. I finally watched Thanksgiving.
Oh,
Did you love it?
Probably November, December, January. It's like 3 months.
Yeah.
So it's up on Netflix now. It's a lot of fun.
It's so
definitely
fucking fun.
a homage to old slasher films, and
But with a little refresh.
I liked it. And then finally another movie opened today that Neil and I got to see together. Drive-Away Dolls.
Am I gonna like it? Am I gonna like
think
Drive-Away
you're
Dolls?
I think you're
like
gonna
it.
like it.
It's
Yeah.
funny. It's super queer. It is I just laughed so much,
Yeah.
and they don't really cut away. It's like
It's just like
we're
all-
lesbians and we're doing lesbian shit,
I
and
love it.
I absolutely love that.
Amazing.
It's great, refreshing, all of that. But because of that, focus feature, and if you reach down there, Sandra, and you can even take that out of the bag and
What?
open that.
I didn't know this was here the whole time.
We've got another giveaway that we're gonna do.
Yay, giveaway.
So this is a Drive-Away Dolls briefcase. And if you open it up, there should be, I believe, a tank top in there.
Oh shit. It is a Bella canvas size.
Right, and it says, "I'm going to Tallahassee. Don't ask me why." And that's a whole part of the movie. It'll make sense when you see it.
It says at the bottom Drive-Away Dolls.
Yeah.
And it's got the shape of Florida on it.
Right. So we've got 2 of these that we're going to give away. And all you have to do is there's a link currently in our show notes, right?
No.
Or will be.
After, yes.
Okay. Look for it tomorrow in our show notes.
tonight.
And then you can enter for your chance to win one of 2 of these things. And then I will also be posting in Instagram with direct links to the site so you can enter.
Yes.
Awesome.
So thank you to Focus Features for
and-
sending us this stuff.
And also go see the movie. It
Yeah.
really is. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Secured the goods. All right. That's sickening. And then we'll all go watch the movie and we'll talk about it.
Agreed. Okay. So that's that, huh?
That's all I got.
That's awesome. I forgot I watched one more thing. Can I say it?
Absolutely. No.
Nope.
No.
Fuck. Okay. Never mind. Yep. I watched one more thing.
So, Sandra, what did you watch?
I watched. Is it Rise of the Planet of the Apes? The first one, is that the one? There's Rise, Dawn, War, and then there's
Day of the Planet.
Fuck. I know.
Journal of the
Long
Diary
days-
of the Planet of the
Long
Apes.
Day's Journey into Night of the Apes. So this is the one that came out, was it like 2011? And it's kind of like
The Franco one?
yeah, and it
Okay.
kind of like revamped the franchise as it's still going. Now there's going to be a new one coming out this year. So I had only seen this first one around when it came out. And it's kind of like, it's notorious because then I just cried the whole fucking way through that movie because it was like, it was really, really hard to see the animals. And I know they're not real, but these things really happen to real animals. And it was just like really, really fucking hard to watch. And I told Scott, I'm like, I can't watch it again. I can't. I'm just going to cry. I'm going to cry all over again. But we really want to get caught up on the franchise and see the new one. So I watched it. Guess what? Fucking cried the whole way through it again. Even though I knew exactly when everything was going to happen. I was like, ah! Tears.
Wow. All right.
I do love that it takes place in the Bay Area. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I love those little guys. I love Caesar. I love them so much. I'm really excited to continue watching the rest of the franchise. I feel like if I could watch that movie twice and just cry uncontrollably like I did, I feel like it's just going to all be uphill from here. Right? Because, I mean, it's just, not going to be torturing them anymore.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Scott loved it, too,
It'll be
for the
fine.
record, seeing it for the first time. Yeah.
It's pretty impressive, the effects
Was
also.
it James
with-
Franco and John Lithgow?
John Lithgow, yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that at all.
The plot holes are so big, you're going to fall into them constantly. However, it's still a really enjoyable movie.
And that has been our cult show review.
Thank you, Mindy. I live for the Golden Girls. They are my girls. I'm a girl's girl. What can I say? Tonight we're going to be talking about Caleb's pick, Waterworld. Oftentimes I will intro the film. I'm going to leave that up to the birthday person, Caleb,
Okay.
because
Springing that on me.
I am. Sorry, pop quiz hot shot. How many times did we say that yesterday?
couple.
Watching the
I said it
movie?
a couple.
Yeah, we were quoting speed like
Uh,
several times.
let me pull up.
You want me to do it? I'll tell you. I'll tell you the plot of Waterworld.
I'm on. Okay.
I'll tell you right now.
Let me read this. In the future, where the polar ice caps have melted and Earth is almost entirely submerged, a mutated mariner fights starvation and outlaw smokers, and reluctantly helps a woman and a young girl try to find dry land.
You have to do it in the voice, though, of the opening
Yeah.
of the movie. In a world.
In the future, where the polar ice caps have melted
Perfect.
and Earth is almost entirely submerged. How's
Perfect.
that?
That's perfect.
All right.
What we were doing Arnold Schwarzenegger voices earlier, and I don't remember why, but it was really funny.
In the future.
You're doing them today?
Yeah, during cosmetics time.
Oh, okay.
So can I go first? May I go first?
Since I pretty much know what you're gonna
You don't
say.
know. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
Can I just have my say first?
Yeah.
It's my birthday.
Sure. You know what? Because it's your birthday,
And I actually never asked to go first.
go
I
first.
wrote an intro.
But you couldn't
Read it in that voice, though.
synopsize, But
No, because this is very important. Okay.
yeah. Oh lordy Lou.
So, to me, this always felt like a comic book come to life. A really fun, futuristic, apocalyptic action-adventure film with incredible sets and a way over-the-top protagonist. The world building is exceptional, even if it doesn't operate by our laws of physics, science, or realism. Hence the comic book comparison. Additionally, last night I was watching this with my 8-year-old, and he was digging it. And that just sort of made me feel like this is what movies do, because he was so happy and he just wanted to talk about why did they melt and what's this and and it just made me very, very, very happy to show this to him.
Cool.
I wanted to make a really
Go
good
ahead.
joke, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna save it. I'll save it for when we're not on the air.
Thank you, Caleb.
Thank you, Kate. That was lovely.
Of course.
You are a very good writer and
Of course,
speaker.
of course, of course.
I wish you had been in Waterworld. I would have liked it a lot more. I didn't like it. I thought it sucked. I've never seen it before. This was the first time. I was hoping it would be kind of like Postman, where I'd never seen that till we watched it. And, you know, I was like, I don't think the Postman's like great, but I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Like, cause, you know, I'd always heard.
Right.
Waterworld, unfortunately, was that bad. But you know who really fucking hated this movie was producer Scott. He just could not. When once we got in the car, he just kept like ranting about how much he hated it. But
Scott's been trying to play it off like, you don't know what I'm going to say. But I know what you're going to say.
I was so excited for this movie. I really, really wanted to like it. I thought the same thing. Postman, like, I love a good comic book, silly science fiction.
I'm always down to
throw physics
surprised.
to the wind. I love that kind of a movie.
Right.
This movie made me angry how bad it is. It's
the other way.
It's a
People
tragedy.
feel that way about Postman.
It is so rage-inducingly bad.
The poor movie, it's one of those things where it just feels like a mess, and I actually feel bad for it. Like, I feel like the production was messy, everything just messy, and to that point where it's like, maybe somebody should have like, can we just start over? Like, can we scrap it? Can we start over? And they're like, no, let's continue. We're staying the course. We're not changing a damn thing, and we sure as fuck are not editing this movie. So. Yeah. But let's talk about it.
So this is going to be a fun show.
I'm not the one responsible for Waterworld, and nor is producer Scott.
So can I tell you what I thought?
Yeah, absolutely. Please.
So I hadn't seen it in many years. Probably since the polar ice caps had melted is when I last saw this film. But so I remember liking it when I saw it. This time, I think the aging of the film definitely comes out and makes me not enjoy it as much. I definitely did not dislike it as much as Sandra and Scott. If my issues from it come from just the aging of the film, if anything, you know what I mean? Like, there were things that I thought were over the top that I'm like, well, okay, you know, at this point. So I guess I'm more of in a middle ground, probably, be my guess on this one. But I'm going to have fun discussing it.
Yeah.
For somebody who's in the middle, you sure were talking a lot of shit about it yesterday.
Yeah, well, there was lots of things about it. But I also told you guys.
You know what? Just be real.
But I also told you guys, I did tell you guys, I did not dislike it like as much as you guys did. I also said that also. So, there you go.
And by the way, talking shit about something, you can still have fun with it. I talk shit about this movie. I mean, there are things about this movie you're like,
this wasn't the fun
kind.
kind.
I don't know that's how that's gonna work.
Yeah, this wasn't the fun kind. Not a lot of movies will open with the lead character just peeing into the sea. So that's, you know, already I was like, okay, that's a choice.
Peeing into the sea?
He's peeing in a little jar, and that he quickly makes into potable water.
So you were angry right then?
I wasn't angry, but I was like, ew. Like, it was just like, we're getting ready for this like epic.
When you need water, you're gonna invent some
we're
things.
We're opening up this epic.
To try to help you make that easier.
This epic fabled film, and it just opens with him peeing. I don't know. Kind of think should have gone a little
interesting,
a little more exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah, and he's wearing some pretty wild pants too.
That futuristic Brita technology is pretty impressive.
Oh, it's very again, it's fast. I understand that, but do you really want to see like a 3-hour purification process?
I would rather not see it at all.
I am a crunchy science fiction nerd, so yes, I do, but I respect.
But then you
your
complained
choice.
that the movie was 4 hours long.
The length was not my complaint with the film.
We actually all thought the movie was going to be 3 hours or like more. So when
there is a director's cut that is 3 hours long that goes in a lot more about, you know,
Only it's
what-
not a director's
how
cut.
things
It's a fan
work.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fan cut. Yeah.
No. They actually put out a director's. It was for So it was for TV. They did a 3-hour
Yeah.
TV thing, and then the fan went and took the parts that weren't in the movie from the TV and put it. Blah, 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 blah. They liked it so much that they then put out. A whole
I like how
official-
you say
official-
fan because there's one person besides you that likes this movie. I realized very quickly Kevin Costner has been having a midlife crisis for the last 40 years.
Okay.
It hasn't ended. It appears to be going really strong.
He made some good films after this, or no? I mean, it was Postman, obviously. Or no, it was a Postman first.
No.
Postman was after this.
This was after, yeah.
Waterworld was after Postman?
Wyatt Earp was before.
Before.
Mhm.
Perfect World, before.
Perfect World was before, yeah.
Field of Dreams
But that wasn't,
before.
he didn't write that, did he?
No.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he was in it, though. And then
Field of Dreams was him.
way
Bill
before.
Durham.
Yeah.
This
Bill
is.
Durham was before.
See,
I'm not saying Kevin Costner doesn't have
Silverado
good
was
movies.
before.
That's not what I said. I was talking about his very long midlife crisis.
No, I'm just thinking
Yeah.
because there was a period where I didn't care for Kevin Costner earlier, and then he started doing films that I liked that became like The Dancer with Wolves and The Perfect World and The Wyatt Earp, and like we talked about. And then at some point, something happened, and he kind of started getting. He disappeared for a while too.
And then he came back in Yellowstone and was like, I'm
Mr.
back,
Brooks.
America. Oh, yeah, Mr. Brooks. That's a good one, too. So this is one of those movies where Kevin has an accent that will appear and disappear and change throughout the film. Very famous in Prince of Thieves. He did an accent like that, the magical disappearing accent.
He has a lime tree.
Nothing's free in Waterworld, Neil.
It's true. That was pretty funny. That was he meets the what do you call him,
Drifter.
trader or whatever
Fellow
he was.
drifter.
Just a
Drifter. Yeah.
This one has a colander for a hat.
Hey, you find it, it's probably going to be of use.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this movie, you find it and you make it a hat.
But we learn quickly that you can't really trust anyone that you float upon.
No.
In
no.
Waterworld.
Everyone is kind of shady. So.
Everybody has a wacky
Not
hat.
the least of which is Kevin Costner.
Again, right?
Oh my
It's
God.
I guess dog eat dog world is not a good analogy, but it's a shark eat shark world.
I would love to know how the Mariner keeps his skin so nice. Because everybody else has like peely, red skin that you would expect
I
from
think it's
living
just
on the water.
part of the mutation.
Oh, it's part of the mutation. Okay, got it. That should have been their first clue. Like, how is your skin game so on point, sir? That he has a nary appeal.
Actually, I really liked his like tan line
He had the
wrinkles
lines.
around his eyes.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
actually
say.
thought that was a nice touch.
No, tan lines are good. I'm talking about peeling. I'm talking about the red peely skin. He didn't have to have any of that. Nor
So
a wacky
I read
hat.
that daily they all got a spray tan
No,
daily.
and he would squint the whole time doing it. It was
Probably.
creating
I
the
guess
lines.
he
Yeah.
would, but but they
His
all
character.
did.
Right.
Gene Triplehorn did. Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
just—it's like they all just line
Like
up,
line up.
spray them down, move 'em through.
Big line of,
Now turn.
So he shows up at this floating city, the atoll,
The atoll.
the atoll.
and it's big city on the water.
Bunch
It's-
of metal and boats
Right.
and all kinds of scrap just
But it's huge.
tied
I mean,
together.
Very
it's
big.
and it's an actual full size set that they built.
Right.
And this is part of the reason why this movie had so many problems was because someone decided that they didn't want to do it in a pool somewhere where you can control the weather and the tides and the waves and the,
Sure.
so they lost a few of these things that they
Actors.
built.
Oh.
No, sets. And had to rebuild them again. So, but this thing was huge, and it had to be huge because it had to fit his boat inside of it.
Now, are you being
Right.
facetious, or do we really not know who wanted to film it? Like that they?
Oh, I'm sure it was Kevin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely, yeah.
There's that story that Spielberg told him don't film.
Yeah, Spielberg told that may have been the director though. Actually, that Spielberg told the director
Right.
Kevin
Kevin
Reynolds,
Reynolds.
asked, hey, what did you learn filming in the real sea?
It's hard.
On Jaws.
Yeah.
And Spielberg told him, don't do it.
Yeah.
You can't control some stuff. And they did it anyway. So again, I don't know if it's Kevin or if it was the well, there's two Kevins, Kevin Reynolds or Kevin Costner. But
The battle
it
of
was
the Kevins.
someone decided, we're going to do it off the coast of Hawaii.
I would assume the producers would win on that because the director, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, he can try and do what he wants,
Right.
but ultimately the producers are the ones who are footing the bill. So
Yeah.
if they're like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing.
One of the things
Which
that
Kevin was a producer, sorry.
Oh, yes. One of the things that I'd always heard about this movie when people talk about it is the crazy costuming. I've mentioned the wacky hats, but the hats are really just the beginning. People are wearing all manner of things because it's clear that it's like you find it, you
make
wear it,
use.
you make it a jewelry.
Yeah.
Very famously, the can pull tabs as a necklace on that one bad guy.
Right.
I actually called him Pull Tab Necklace because I don't know the character's name. So the Mariner is all that we know Kevin Costner's character has. The Mariner.
Yeah.
He shows up and he has a jar of dirt, which made me think of Pirates of the Caribbean. And everybody's very excited. He's the man with the dirt.
Oh, he's balling.
He's balling. So he doesn't let them give him a bad deal. He gets a lot of, what's the form
Chits.
of chits?
Yes.
He gets a lot of chits for his dirt. And
It's a pre-European Union currency.
the chit.
The chit.
Long story short, he's got gills. And they don't take kindly to mutants. Though, I mean, really, they're just haters. I mean, he has web feet and gills. They're jealous. I would say that.
They were gonna breed him literally 30 seconds earlier.
Yeah, they're like trying to like push a teenager on him. They're like, we need your...
Seed.
I laughed very hard. Ew. And it seems, again, a lot of movies where Kevin's in, people want his seed.
It's true. We noticed that. There's a couple, this and Postman have a few
Well,
similarities.
dirt in the future is currency apparently, and so is seed. Because they say, we'll hook you up.
Yep. We'll give you things, and he's
Yeah.
like, you don't have anything.
Right.
He didn't
But-
choose the Gill life. The Gill life chose him.
And then they find out he's got the gills, and they're like, mutate.
Yeah. They call him
Screaming.
like a mutate or something weird.
Yeah,
don't
one guy
they?
goes, mutate, yeah.
Muto.
Muto? Yeah,
Was
they
it
call him
Muto?
something
Oh.
mean. Again, they're fucking haters because they don't have gills and webbed feet.
Right.
This is like one of the only time we see the webbed feet, though, and I'll bring that up again later. Then we meet Enola, the little girl, and Helen, her mom, not birth mom, but her mom. Who the fuck tattoos a kid? That's fucked up.
Her parents.
Spoiler alert, Tibetans.
Yes.
That's who
So what they have a drink they drink, which
is water.
is water,
But they don't call it water.
but they call it hydro.
Right.
So now that my question was they live on top of water. They
Mhm.
call that water. They call the world they live in Waterworld,
Right.
right? But yet they drink hydro. Like, why is it not called water?
Because you can't drink what they live in.
You can't drink what you live in.
What they live in.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, you just have to, like you do with your pee. It's just like that.
No. That doesn't work. Obviously.
Right.
They've got all that water. They would have figured that out by now if they could. Obviously, we're drinking pee. Next.
Right? Yeah. And it's like a Gatorade drink, but yeah, we were giggling when they called it hydro.
I'm actually going to defend it because I was laughing pretty hard at that at first too.
The
But there
hydro.
is another moment in this film when they refer to fresh water and they say fresh water. So I think it's just slang. It's just shorthand for fresh water.
How would they know what fresh water is? Like a freshwater source.
Because it's hydro. It's the same thing. I think Hydro's just slang. I'm actually going to defend the Hydro choice. I'm defending it.
Here's what I could agree with Scott, and maybe Hydro has to be it's manufactured drinkable.
Somebody did something to it.
Right. They made it, right?
It's your
Yeah.
And then
distilled.
distilled, yes.
Under distilling process.
Or filtered, because if you distill it, you could then use all the salt water and distill
It's
it.
Brando.
Brando?
Isn't that what it's called? Idiocracy?
Oh.
Jeez.
Can't remember.
Sorry, I don't know.
So pretty soon the smokers show up to when the
the
party.
smokers are bad.
The
because
smokers
they're dirty
And smoking.
and they don't speak well.
They don't speak well. For some reason, Dennis Hopper has a southern accent. Dennis Hopper was definitely my favorite part of this movie.
Yes.
He's cartoonish, way over the top. I wish he was enough to save the movie, but he's just one Dennis Hopper. He can't stand up against all of Waterworld. But yeah, he has a southern accent, which I thought was pretty fucking funny. They call planes skyboats, which
Yes.
I just couldn't. I was like, okay. He has a lot of bad guys. Oh, also just a note on the smoking. I don't think those little packs of cigarettes, those would be real moist and waterlogged. I mean, come on, people would be rolling. They'd be hand rolling if they're smoking. They're not pulling it out of a little
No, they're
carton.
definitely finding old pre-made packs
Yeah.
of filtered cigarettes.
Absolutely.
There's no
Yeah.
fucking way.
They
And he's appeasing his crew with
Yeah. Spam.
a hand smeat.
Okay, yeah, but have you ever come across like a 2-year-old pack of cigarettes?
No, I never have.
Okay.
I don't think they care. I mean, did you look at them?
Well,
Did
yeah,
you
but
really?
the cigarettes look like they just came from the fucking 7-Eleven in the 90s. They didn't look like they were aged.
Like they had literally been vacuum packed for
Yeah.
the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
They can get a little stale over time, I guess, right? The tobacco.
Oh, a lot of stale over 2 years.
I think it would have
months.
looked. I think it would have looked cooler if they were hand rolling cigarettes. Also,
But it's kind of
Where would you
funny in
put
a
a
way
wet
that
throw?
he's
Yeah.
got these packs already. You know, it's like
Yeah.
in a weird way that it's like he has the corner on oil, he has the corner on cigarettes
And
somehow.
firearms, alcohol, firearms, tobacco.
Right.
Well, and like there was a lot of things that I thought were gonna come to play later. Like when we meet Dennis Hopper, he's on this little propeller chair thing, and he's got these 2 young men with him. And I thought, like, oh, these guys are, are they going to betray him? Are they going to stick with him? Are they his bodyguards? Does the little one roll the cigarettes? And then they're literally not in the fucking movie ever again. And so there was a lot of things like that, like, you kind of thought, like,
Were
was
they the
setting
ones
up.
waving the flags?
Yeah, they
doing
do
the
that.
signals or whatever.
There was, like,
they
a
were
lot
just
of
the
things.
attack flag signalers.
This little drill team. There was a lot
Oh
of
no,
things.
they blew up.
Yeah.
They died.
Oh,
They
did
died.
blow
That's
up.
why you don't see them again.
But there was a lot of other things in this movie that I thought was going to turn into something that never did. And I guess they were just cannon fodder.
Yes.
Dennis
Sad.
Hopper loses an eye in that explosion.
And that explosion, yeah.
Yes.
Sorry.
Although it doesn't
that
seem
took
to
me a
affect him
second.
very much.
When he says, keep an eye out.
So, okay, one thing, the more I thought about this, the more eerie this actually becomes. This film perhaps was very fortuitous in its fact that it was with Dennis Hopper's character. And you think about, Dennis Hopper was an over-the-top character. He truly believes that he is, may I say, the Messiah, or whatever
Absolutely.
of this group. His followers were devout. They were over the top as well. Fervent, yes,
Yeah,
indeed. And he was able to placate them, perhaps with empty promises. Right? He admits this is all bullshit.
Use a lot.
Yeah.
And he's
to his inner crew, yeah. It was-
everything, right?
Yeah.
So to me,
he's also kind of orange too, right?
yes, exactly. Okay, we're all going the same way. We're like, I was like, you know
ready.
what? This guy is Donald Trump, and this is like a MAGA freaking group. I mean, that's what all this is.
Yeah.
It's like, holy cow. I mean, how did they know?
Kevin Costner knew.
Kevin Costner
No,
knew.
but see, that's the whole thing. That's what they don't say it, but, obviously his 3 or 2 main people, they all seem to speak well and can read and can,
Pull tab is
you know,
British.
but the
For
guy
some
with the
reason.
big wig hair,
Yeah, pull
him.
tab.
Right, okay. And then the guy with the oxygen,
Wait,
he kind of
that's
speaks
pull tab
well.
guy? Hair
Yeah.
guy is pull tab guy?
Yeah.
He has that hair and you know him by his pull tabs?
He had a lot
He is
going on.
hair guy.
He's a hot mess, is what he is. And why is he British?
Yeah. Anyway, my point is Dennis Hopper is in control because he controls the oil, because he controls the meat, because he controls the cigarettes, because he controls the information, and that he's got it all, keeping the rest of them way, way, way down here, like literally rowing the boat.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, he's
a despot. And he has become the king
makes
of
sense.
Waterworld.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Makes
Absolutely.
sense. When you're like, how does that happen? Well, that's what people have done.
I don't think you said, how does that happen?
No,
You were saying, how does it happen that it's Donald Trump?
Yes, that they predicted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
because that's what every single person has done to get in power.
Okay. But yeah, the orange thing was like, wow, they're really good.
Right.
It was just over the top. So things run afoul in Atoll. The bad guys they're going to kill the Mariner because they don't like his mutant things. The bad guys come, they're laying waste. The bad guys have 2 methods of travel that others do not. One is jet skis. Because this is the 90s. The second was Scott's favorite, the synchronized water skiers.
Yes. That was pretty cool.
Well, how else are you going to get over a big wall?
It was like,
Why did they have to be
it was like
insane?
Jaws 3.
That's what I said. I literally have written down here, hey, they got the Jaws 3D water skiing team. That was, that was
at
pretty
least they
funny.
weren't standing in a pyramid.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
that's
right.
on the cutting room floor, you know it.
You're right. And they had Oinker from the Greasy Strangler with the, doing the Gatling gun.
But I
Yeah.
liked his
That
was
look.
actually
I
really
liked
cool.
his
Oinker.
barreled gun
Yes.
or whatever.
Don't try to
and,
communicate to him, though. I love when they're like trying to. It's like, he can't fucking hear you
He can't
guys.
hear you. I mean, he saw he had he couldn't even see out of his goggles that he's wearing. Like,
No.
what do you?
Oh,
You need
okay.
to come up with a better way.
Yes, clearly,
Yeah.
because, when he's going off the thing and
He doesn't
starts
even realize
shooting,
that
yeah.
he's.
He has
yeah.
no clue what's going on,
Yeah.
obviously.
Helen and the Mariner make a deal. Again, very a la Jack Sparrow. He kind of manages to get them out of harm's way and away from the bad guys. But now everybody's looking for Enola because of the tattoo on her back is a map of how to get to dry land, which it's fabled. People are like, is there dry land? Is there not dry land anymore? But she has this map that nobody can read, and it's like an illustration and some sort of Asian characters and
And an arrow.
And an arrow.
pointing to land.
pointing to like a mountain. So okay. So they're on the Mariner's skimmer out at sea, and this is where the movie takes a dark turn that I did not see coming. Producer Scott and I were like, is this real life? Like, is this what's happening in this movie right now? So this is a real flaw. This is a flaw. He's a fucking creep. He's not an anti-hero. He's not a grumpy sunshine. He's an asshole and a creep. He's really legit gonna kill the child. Like, at one point he even throws her overboard. He is like, that comes a little later, but he's legitimately like, we have to throw one of you over, we're all gonna die, or whatever. Then he lets the lady get naked, and he raises his hand as if he is going to touch her, and this is her trying to use her body so that they can stay on the ship. It is very clear that is what she is doing, is she is trying to change reluctant sex work for them to stay alive and on the ship with him. and he decides to not touch her and walk away. This is very clear. You cannot, like, this is what's happening.
After sampling the goods.
Let's say. Then he fucking hits her unconscious with an oar. And
that was very funny.
It was funny, but it was... The sound was hilarious. Thump. But it's like, he's the hero? Like, are you sure he's not the bad guy? Because at this point in the movie, I was starting to root for Hopper. Because I was like, I mean, at least Dennis Hopper's a bad guy up front. I don't like it in a movie when the good guy is not a good guy and he does real bad guy stuff. It's very off-putting. So at this point, the Mariner kind of lost Scott and I. We were kind of like, fuck this dude.
Okay. Well, I think he's a realist, and he's been out at sea by himself, and you know, he saw a situation for, you know, hey, we're not going to make it unless one of you goes.
Bullshit. Man, I need a button. Man, bullshit.
No, not
You're just
bullshit at
trying to
all.
defend your movie.
No, I'm not trying to defend it. I'm just saying, like, it, you know, he even says later on, I've sailed more seas than anyone else ever has. I've seen more of this world than anybody. You know, I think he knows what they're in for.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, geez, like there are tons of movies where people are don't act great and then turn around and do the right thing.
This is way beyond that. This is way beyond that. Like, no.
I mean, but you...
I
And I would, but
Producer Scott and I
give me my
disagree.
button, you know, because I disagree with that a lot.
I mean, there's Caleb's... I mean, you're not going to... Obviously, you don't agree, which is cool. But, I mean, Caleb's got a point when he's saying that this guy, you know, you're in a land of post-apocalyptic melting and it's, you know, you're basically, it's everyone you're for yourself in this world, floating around, and he's, you know, I guess I can understand that when you're saying he's like,
right,
you know what, there's only enough water for 2 people for 6 days or whatever the hell it was he was saying, you know, kind of deal, so we're not going to make it with 3 of us, so she's out.
He should never have rescued them then. He should have just said, like, no, I'll take one of you.
I don't think
but
he really wanted
was also
to.
about to die in the sledge. Of course he's going to say, like, yeah, I'll take you.
Well, then he should have just thrown one overboard instead of debating it. But the throwing overboard is not as bad as the near essay molestation, though. Like, that's gross. And I don't really think it's forgivable or excusable.
I mean, yeah, it's gross, and it, you know, you're right, it's not. But, I mean, we're also taking, like, you know what? Never mind.
So
let's move on. At
this point, we also were rooting for the kid and the lady to just eat him and take his boat. Because do you really need him? And if you eat him, then you won't need food for a while.
And yes, they absolutely need him because she doesn't know anything about how to sail a boat. You know, the one time she does try to do something, she ends up wrecking the boat.
I know that's pretty
Is that why he
though.
whacks her with the oar? I don't remember why he whacks her. There's a reason.
I don't remember.
I can't remember why
She's trying to
hits
do
her with
something,
the
and then
oar.
he like pulls the sail down on top of her, and then just gives her a whack.
She was holding a spear gun to him.
Oh, right.
Naked.
Really? That's why she does it? Okay.
Yeah, and then he drops like a sail or some cloth
drops
or
a sail
something
on her.
over her and
Yeah.
gives her the.
Oh.
Gives her a
But then we
whack.
find out. Then he throws the girl in the water at one point,
He
and,
does.
and he's like, "She can't swim," kind of thing. And then one thing we all went was like, "Wait a minute, how do you not know how to swim in Waterworld?" Like,
And I guess that was their kind of like. She can have like a thing, so then they're like, they can relate to each other because people made fun of her for not being able to swim, and they make fun of him for having skills. It's like,
I also took it as she's got the map on her back and she's been hiding her.
I
the
would think
entire
so
time.
too. Probably didn't
Yes.
want to like.
So
yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
Todd 209's in the chat. What's up, Todd?
So we see what's his name? Dennis Hopper. Isn't he like the Commodore?
The Deacon.
The
Deacon. At one point they try to fashion him an eye.
Yes.
That scene was very funny. And it's so like out of left field because it's like a legitimately funny scene, and it's like, what is this are you lost, little scene? Because this is like comedy. And I love it when the kid's like, it looks like shit. It's like, yeah, it looks really bad. So we're kind of getting used to, let's just call it office politics. So, oh my god, this made me laugh way too hard, and it wasn't supposed to be funny. Enola's a little artist, and she likes to draw. And, like, so the murderer doesn't like anybody touching his stuff. And he's like, don't touch my crayons! He gets so mad about the fucking crayons, and it's like, maybe you don't know this, but in our reality, crayons and children go hand in hand, not crayons and weird men on boat. So that was just like really funny to me. He's like,
No one draws on my boat but me.
Exactly.
Why is that so funny?
'Cause
Nothing is free in Waterworld.
You're right.
I mean,
When
you
we're
guys
going
are
with
like
that
applying
logic.
today's like standards to. I think I read that this is supposed to be in like 2,500 or something.
Thank you. That actually, I was going to ask that at one point.
Supposed to be in 2021.
So
2,500. Okay.
yeah, of course he's gonna say, "Don't touch my stuff,"
It was hilarious.
and sulk a little bit,
It's my
like a little
crayons.
kid.
Just my crayons.
Is that
Okay, 2,500. Would an airplane really hold together after 500 years
You mean a
in
skyboat?
salt water? Sorry, a skyboat.
Yeah.
Would that really hold together after 500
Is
years
that,
in
is
the
that where you're
salt?
gonna draw the line?
No, but that was a pretty big one.
Not the cigarettes, not the meat, not the.
Oh, we've already talked about the cigarettes.
Yeah. This is just another little beep,
Yeah.
beep.
Again,
The little
there's
piece.
there's no science or physics here.
Do we know at what point the world flooded?
No.
Versus when they are?
That I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah.
Do we think it's 100 years? I mean, do we any idea what our thoughts are as a group? If you had to guess.
The timeline's very confusing because the oil tanker thing happened in the 90s.
90s, yeah.
89.
I'd be willing to
89,
bet
was
it was
that long
probably
ago?
like,
Jeez.
you know, based on how what they thought the far future was in the 90s, probably like 2020.
That's what I'm saying, 2021. They're like, the year was 2021.
But let's be realistic. We know what we know now. Let's say 250 years from now. That would be.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to even kind of draw a timeline because of like the stuff that's left, the stuff that didn't survive, the absolutely absurd fact that they think that humans have just been always living on flotillas of trash in Waterworld. And it's
dry
like,
land was
a myth.
a myth. Like
It's
they
a
didn't
myth.
know they were
Nobody-
floating above.
So that would
Everything.
indicate
None of them did. No.
Right.
Because
So
they
that would
couldn't go down that way.
Right.
and like so that would indicate a really long
Couple
time
generations
of
would
not
have to
passing
go.
down that oral history.
Right.
Well, 500 years sounds actually about right for
Yeah.
that to finally fall into
Yeah.
like myth
So-
and legend. 500 years sounds about right. That was my main problem. And again, I'm
Yeah.
okay with like cognitive dissonance when it comes to these kind of films. But it's like, you know, it's so far ago that everything sank that no one has any memory of what's underneath the water. But it's not far
Right.
enough in the future where airplanes still work.
It gets a little confusing. It is
It's a
kind of a
little
head
weird.
scratcher.
It's a little weird.
It's
Well,
a little weird.
For me, I mean, it's for me not confusing so much as I honestly, legitimately am trying to just put the timeline together to kind of go, okay, the hair man, the bottle guy, like he wouldn't be a British accent anymore,
Right.
Because that would be gone. I would think.
No,
They
that would be
all-
gone. Southern accents would be
Yeah,
gone.
all that kind of stuff. Like they would all
At
be.
one point, Kevin even says they're speaking
They have a language.
Portugreek.
Okay.
You know.
I mean, but then again, maybe they do have.
The first guy who takes his limes in the beginning, I read that he was speaking Hindi to him.
Oh, okay.
You know, so it's just a mesh of a whole bunch of different things that have
Stuck.
lasted. Yeah.
I guess it's possible if people from England just were built their own atoll and are floating there for years and years, they would
Maybe.
keep the same accent, I guess.
But
I mean,
nobody has the same accent. They all
And
have
he would-
different.
No, yeah. Well,
accents.
then eventually I don't know.
You can't make
I'm
sense
thinking.
of
I'm just
Waterworld.
thinking. I'm thinking of Waterworld.
You can, nothing's for free, and
Nothing
you cannot make
makes
sense of
Nothing's for free,
Waterworld.
Nothing makes sense. There you go.
There you go.
Also, when did the giant fish mutants happen? Because he kills a literal fucking leviathan.
Also, why did he wait so long to go fishing?
Yeah, he waited a real long time for that.
Like, the what's her name, Helen,
Helen.
is talking about how hungry they are, how hungry they're gonna starve.
She's
They're
like,
gonna
you must
starve."
be hungry.
And you're like, "Oh, are you hungry? All right, you want to eat? All right, here, let me just jump off my boat and electrocute a."
I think he was so fed up at that point of hearing her. He's like, all right, you hungry? I'll get you food.
And it's apparently real easy to lure a Leviathan. You just get in the water.
You just
and
do more
flap
Jaws
around.
3D water aerobics.
Maybe they weren't in their area yet to go fishing.
You're right. There you go.
You know, maybe they had to sail there first.
I thought that was one of the creatures we drew last week, and you're a sea
It
creature
was.
fan.
I think I was going to look through
Yeah.
and find it, but we definitely have drawn that guy. And then he has like a little hot plate, and he like cooks a little bit of
It was
fish.
like a hibachi, yeah.
Yeah.
He grilled that right up. Kind of looked like lobster. Not gonna
Um,
lie.
there was a part then where he is teaching Enola how to swim, and I'm going to quote Neil here. Made me laugh. Helen's like looking, like you're Helen. She's like looking wistfully out at the sea, and Neil said, "Maybe I can learn to love the mariner." Despite every fucked up thing that has happened, she's like, "My God, he's teaching my kid to swim."
You know, she's lived on fucked up Waterworld long enough to know that, you know, a
I
few
like that.
lumps are gonna come with a few acts of kindness.
But she had that kind of like
and you
that.
just take it where you can get
That like
it.
tiny little twitch of a smile. That
Yeah, but it had kind of like she had that little head
Right.
twitch
Yeah.
kind of back,
So
you know, and like,
silly.
Do I want it?
yeah, do I? Yeah. Should I offer myself again?
I can't keep getting turned down.
If the mariner won't take me, then who will?
Maybe the Leviathan. He seems nice.
Well, I'll call Dennis Hopper.
Dennis Hopper doesn't appear to have a spouse. Then there are like ladies in his colony, but he hasn't taken a wife.
You don't see very many though, do you? But
Yeah,
you're there.
because
You're
they
right,
all
they're
look
there.
this. Everybody
there.
looks the same.
It's
They're
true.
just
They're there
really
now.
Yeah,
dirty.
they're just
Yeah.
really, really, really dirty.
A lot of white people though in Waterworld. A lot of white people out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Not sure how that happened with the polar ice.
Okay, so
Even the Tibetans are white.
Indeed.
so
Indeed.
okay, let's get to the meat here.
We did. We just ate the Leviathan.
We ate the Leviathan.
All right.
Okay. Basically, Kevin Costner's like, look, there ain't no dry land. I lied to you.
It was a fib.
And Helen's like, well, what the hell are you talking about?
Yeah, I saw your jar dirt.
You
stuff.
have all this stuff that
Yeah.
nobody else has.
And so he's like, all right, I'm going to show you. Let's go take a little
Right.
swim. And then we
Right.
get the 90s effects that don't quite hold up so good.
They were nauseatingly
Also,
bad.
I'm not
This
sure,
film
I'm not
came
sure
out
a
2
diving
years-
bell goes down that deep.
Well, this movie came out 2 years after Jurassic Park.
There's
There
no
is
excuse.
no
There's
excuse.
no excuse. Because those dinosaurs hold up today.
Yeah, no, they spent all their money on practical effects.
Yeah, seriously.
There was none
But-
left over. For,
But we found out they go diving over, is it Denver?
Denver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because that's what
And I called it too. I said, I
You
think
did.
it's Denver.
Because first they're going into a big city, and then all of a sudden they're in like a ski lift, and I'm like, bullshit! Where the hell are they? They
And I
go
said,
from
and I,
one
said
to
I
one.
believe it's Denver.
And you get Denver. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that would make sense. But and
Oh.
then the freaking Red October's down there in the middle of the city. It's laying down there.
And he
there was
yeah.
Quint's boat is supposedly down there somewhere.
Oh, really?
That's
Yeah,
funny.
there's a bunch of
Oh, little.
a bunch of little
Easter egg
eggs.
things?
Yeah,
Um,
waterlogged, but
Well, a little waterlogged. Speaking of meat,
Yeah.
we can't just skip over the meat puppets when they're trying to lure. Yeah, I'm like,
Oh,
and they're waving like this, and I was like, I don't think you trust people that wave like that. But yeah, that
especially
was,
when they're asking questions and they're not responding, but they
yeah.
just still
They
keep
just keep
waving.
slowly waving side to side. So, oh yeah, but we shouldn't step on the fact that Helen. Now we're getting even more of a picture again of Waterworld, that they're like, they don't know about things under the water.
right.
They're like, no one's gone under and
No one
looking.
can go
I
that
guess.
deep, yeah.
no one's gone that deep.
Yeah.
They don't
can't see
snorkel.
it. If they can't see it, they can't. But I mean, that's the other thing is
Yeah.
they go down. I don't know. There was a gauge on the little pump that he has when they do go down there that went up to like 600. But
Oh.
I don't know if that's feet or meters. But either way, I don't know how far down a water bell can go.
Especially one that
without it,
appears kind of homemade.
You know.
From trash.
I honestly had no qualms with that
You're
part.
fine with that.
I bought that part.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll take it. I
Yeah.
mean, Todd brings up a good point about the Gillman, but the
Gilman.
Mariner having gills. How long would that take for that to happen?
Oh
that
God, if a
mutation?
human evolution, that's a long time.
So he's not wrong, but I'm going to play in the space with Todd here for just a second because if the polar ice caps all melted, it wouldn't also cover the entire
Entire
planet,
planet, yeah.
save for about 200 feet of the tallest mountain on the planet. So I like to think that Waterworld was really created by a nuclear event caused by a comet. And that's where all the extra water came from.
It was the comet.
It was the comet. So I think that would have maybe sped up human
The mutation
evolution
effect.
mutations.
Or maybe he was.
Here's my fan
or maybe
theory,
he
Todd.
was made.
Oh,
He was.
don't know.
He is Hydro.
yes.
We don't know.
He's a Professor X or whoever those guys are.
Yeah, the X-Men.
The
X-Men.
X-Men.
There's a lot of lines, especially from Dennis Hopper, that are things that like he wouldn't know what that is. Like when he says like that's a hole in one or something, and it's like we get it because you carry a driver around with you, but he wouldn't know what that is.
I think
You
Enola
don't
has.
know that.
There could have been a book or something, maybe
Yeah.
a coffee book that
Then they
survived.
would know about land.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
With how expensive paper
They
is?
do know about land. They just know there isn't any.
No.
You're right.
Oh, there's the goodness gracious snakes alive. That was the one that got me. Like, how do you know what a snake is?
Yeah. Oh, when he takes Helen down to show her all the wreckage, he does not have webbed feet. There's no webbing
Okay.
on those feet.
All right.
Continuity. It's a problem.
So the meat puppets, as you say,
Yeah.
right? Actually, that doesn't happen then. Never mind. I'm remembering where this happens. When they're down doing the land, the smokers take Enola, or
Yes.
they board the ship, and
Yeah.
a little thing happens, and then they
It's a surprise.
they take Enola.
It's a jump
They
scare.
capture her because they want the map to find the land. Enola has.
Damn it, Todd.
There you go. He got you. Enola has one of the best lines though when the hairman is talking to her about the Mariner, and he's going to do this to him and do that to him, and she's like, "You can't do this. You can't do that to him. You can't kill him. He's even meaner than you are." This kind of stuff. Like, it was pretty funny. Her quips was she was just pissing that guy off.
She gets real quippy.
She can get quippy.
There's another line too that made me laugh with Dennis Hopper and the absurd lines. He says, I think it's him. He says, "I swear to Poseidon."
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did say that.
Silly.
Nothing
One
like a good smoke when you miss your ma.
one of Scott's favorite things was when he gives Helen the kiss of life with some oxygen, and Scott said very angrily, "That's not how gills work."
Okay, I have that same note. Again, I don't care. It's fine. Yes, I understand that fish take water in, it passes and goes out their gills. They extract oxygen from the water. I understand that. I don't care.
That's how his store-bought
I'm just
gills
gonna grab a
work.
trout and just give it mouth to mouth.
Again,
Mouth to
I have
trout.
that same thing. I'm gonna kiss a fucking fish the next time and see if it works. I get it. Nothing is free in Waterworld. Nothing makes sense in Waterworld. You can breathe underwater as long as you got a fucking fish.
But if he has manufactured gills, maybe that's just the way his gills work.
Maybe he breathes it in through out his nose.
Yeah, he was just blowing it into her mouth from
Correct.
his nose. Ugh,
The oxygen.
gross.
Again, my belief was suspended enough. I'm like, I'm not even gonna fight that part. It's whatever.
It was funny. Really hilariously timed sex scene when the child's been kidnapped
And the boat's destroyed.
in her burned out piece
And they're gonna
of
die,
boat.
and they can't.
Yeah, and she's like, I think it's now.
I think it's
I think it's
time.
time.
Um,
I think it's time.
Do you have that special feeling?
yeah. Well, and it was the gills.
It
you know,
was
when
the
he
gills.
saved
Actually,
her
I think it
gills.
was just his time to spawn. So
Oh, that's right. He has got to swim upstream though. Shout out to National Geographic.
Yeah.
Love National Geographic.
Okay, but didn't you like how instead of taking the things out of the water, he would duck his head
Yeah.
under the water to like look at the National Geographic that was in there? And did you catch that? At
Yeah,
all?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was
Okay.
very Madison from Splash of him. When she's like going
Maybe
around
yeah,
looking
you're
at
right.
stuff.
Maybe he just sees better underwater.
Yeah, I know, I do.
All right.
So-
It's like his version of putting on his cheaters. He just
Yeah,
has to go
exactly.
under the water.
Actually, I think I know what inspired that. I learned this from my uncle, who was a scuba diver.
Okay.
He would take paperback books down with him when he was diving, because when you dive deep enough, you have to like wait at certain
Right.
to,
Pressurized.
and so he would take the paperback book underwater, but then you put it in a Ziploc bag when you get out, because when it dries out, it falls apart. So you would want to keep it wet so that you could keep reading it. So I think at this point, the paper held together better underwater once it got wet.
Okay. But everything was
Ah.
fucked at this point on his boat.
Yeah.
Like it didn't really matter if it fell apart or not.
It's true.
But sure, why not?
Maybe he just saw a scuba diver do that one
Maybe
time.
he
He's
was
like, "That's
okay,
cool."
I better do that too.
What is okay? So we get to Dennis Hopper, and he's on. We find out
it's the Exxon
it's the Exxon Valdez. We
Yeah.
get when they show the Captain
or
Joe
the
Hazelwood,
D's as they call it.
Saint
D's.
Joe. Saint Joe.
Saint Joe. Okay.
He calls him Saint Joe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, what is it that's built up all around the bottom? Like that's just like barnacles and
Yes.
crud and
Yes.
sea stuff
Yeah.
that builds up, I guess, over time, huh?
Sure.
There's a lot.
There's a lot.
Well,
It's
yeah,
enough
that's the
to,
thing. That's why you periodically have to take your ships or boats in
Yeah, and scrub them
to take them
yeah.
out. Yeah.
It's basically like a coral reef that's growing
Yeah.
around the boat.
Yeah.
It's probably pretty barrier.
Would it still float?
And again, Waterworld. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
Waterworld,
I mean,
yes.
you saw it float, so yes, it floats, Neil.
We all float down here in Waterworld.
The aerodynamics of the hole underneath the water would be seriously compromised.
You
And
would.
don't even start to get
I
into
don't
how
think-
they row it.
I don't think speed is an issue
Right.
at this point.
Did they row the
They
real
were all
ExxonMobil?
so excited to be rowing it. They were so happy to be rowing
Is that why
that
it
boat.
crashed? Is because they were rowing it poorly?
Yeah, that was
in the
actually
original.
that was exactly what happened. They should have zigged and they zagged.
And I think that was one of those when Scott said, "Oh, they're not rowing. Like, surely they're not going to go row this." They were.
Also, I mean, like,
I actually
how
really
are they
liked that.
refining the crude oil that's inside the tanker?
That's-
They don't talk about that.
I just we
it's
shot a
through,
look,
It's through P.
but I said, yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? That boat's big enough. They have some kind of refining process on the boat. Clearly, they must
Clearly,
because they have jet
As
skis and they have a
as an
skyboat.
oil tanker would.
But the guy that like checks the levels, he's like, "There's not like a lot left, so they could only refine maybe so much because
Yes, we
they're
had
running
4
out."
feet, some
Yeah.
odd inches
I don't
left.
want that guy's
Yeah.
job though.
Right?
No, he was happy to die.
Just
you don't
row
want that
around in a
job.
little dinghy with.
when the fire comes and he's like,
goggles.
"Oh, thank God."
Yes. The,
Poor
the
man.
mariner, like, what he spits down? No, excuse me. The deacon spits down the thing at him.
He's all,
He's like,
"Thank
thank
you."
you.
Yeah, I like that though when he was like, "I'm happy to die. This is
Yes.
a fucked up world, and
Oh,
I don't
thank
like
God.
it."
The mariner lights the fucking boat on fire.
Oh my
he
God.
drops a flare.
Drops a
into
flare.
that.
But before he does that,
Okay.
he shows up on board when everybody's down below rowing, and it's just like the bad guy, main cronies, Enola. He's wearing goggles.
That's his disguise.
He's
he
never-
can't let people see his face. They
Oh,
don't.
you're right. I didn't recognize him at all.
They would know.
Yeah. And he's like strutting around his little goggles.
Walking in slow motion through the smoke,
Yeah.
taking out smokers left and right.
Yeah. So at this point, I had thought
Yeah.
about. Well, no, I mean it's like, yeah.
Shut up. And
No, that's exactly that's exactly what he does.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he does. He literally, like, they all just patiently are waiting for him to kill them, like every crony
He's in the
should.
smoke and he's got a disguise on. They don't know.
They're like, there's so many of us here. You could be anybody. I don't know that you're gonna kill me. Hair pull tab Brit knows though. You can't get one passed on him, because I think he was trying to recruit him in that bar. I think he was trying to recruit him to the team.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, although if I were him, I wouldn't, because I think that the mariner would take his place in a second.
Yeah,
You
he
know.
didn't. He was underestimating
Yeah.
what the Mariner is,
What he stands for.
what he stands for, which is not much.
Well, let's just say this: the Mariner will kill you in a boom, in a snap, unless he likes you, unless he gets to know you, right? Because at the end, and now I'm gonna go past it, but he says to her, she's like, "You came
My
back for me." He's like,
friend.
"You're my
You're
friend." So you gotta ingratiate yourself with him.
And I cried happy tears of joy.
Salty,
Anyway.
audible tears.
And I saved them because water is important.
That's
on
right.
Waterworld.
Water is very important. So some of the bad guys had this idea, and I mean, like, really, why didn't they just? Okay, you had two ways with the map. You could have just cut it off the child. You don't need the whole kid. Like, they could have just skinned her.
Yeah.
Like, let's be honest. Or a more humane method, they have her forever. They could have just written it down. They could have just copied it down. Surely someone on the boat
But
has
then
good
the Mariner
penmanship.
wouldn't have anyone to save. That doesn't make any
Yeah,
sense.
but they could have been like, here's your kid. We copied down the map. We're good. But they didn't. They didn't
Just
do
the fact that they kept her alive, period, is
absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, maybe Dennis Hopper, had
Yeah.
that paternal
he needed a new flag
Thing.
person.
Maybe-
Yeah, he doesn't-
do the
maybe he
directions.
thought, hey, I gotta pass this on my kingdom on to someone at some point, and this little girl, maybe I can,
Well, it was funny because like he was actually getting somewhere with her when he was being nice,
Right.
and then all of a sudden he gets mean, and I'm like, why'd you go mean? She was actually like kind of coming around to you
responding to
because
your
he had those Sharpies, and she was like, fuck yeah, I want those
Fuck
Sharpies.
yeah, pens!
right.
Which
So I
wouldn't
never-
have dried out by now at all.
No, the pens are fine.
Now you're just ruining my whole enjoyment of this film, Caleb.
Okay, we had all but forgotten about Leonardo da Vinci and his flying machine, but he shows back up. The kid falling off the hot air balloon was really funny. That was hilarious. How about the bungee jump rope on the rope that was not springy when it goes down and pops back up?
But bungeeing was real big back in '95.
Yeah, just like the
That
jet
was-
skis.
That was a very Gwen Stacy moment in that rope.
Yeah, it
He
was.
should have been
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah. I was like, that's not a springy rope. That's just a piece of rope that's thousands of years old at this point.
But you know what? I think that stunt was mostly practical. It looked pretty practical. So I have to
They
give
used
credit.
a dolphin instead of a human to accomplish it. Dennis Hopper, hella good at rope climbing.
Oh yeah,
You didn't think he had it in him.
He was doing pretty
He
good.
was,
Right. You
Hand-
think it was
hand-
underwater?
hand.
How badass he climbed that thing?
yeah. Oh my god, it's just like when they're down below, the scenes of them up in the balloon. Oh, it's so bad looking. It's so bad looking.
Actually, the funny thing was when he first releases the balloon, accidentally releases the balloon
Right.
at the atoll.
Yeah.
And he can't control it. And I'm just thinking, like, well, what good is it if
Yeah.
you can't?
If
you
you
can't
can't fucking
control
control
like
it.
up and down. Like,
Yeah.
what are you just gonna
He
do?
never got that
float
far.
for-
For all eternity.
But then later he can.
Well,
You know what I
also
mean?
Yeah.
like it was also like the
I think
magical.
he just said that. I think he just wanted to leave them behind.
I'm sorry.
I can't control
I'm
it.
sorry. Did
It
you
was
see-
like it was like the magical balloon too, where it's changed sizes all the time. Like,
Oh, it did. Yeah.
Like, at first, it's like made out of like a little go kart kind of thing. Like,
Right,
I didn't
yeah.
think all
Yeah.
three
and then
of them
there's a
could
whole
fit on it.
platform underneath it.
And then by the end, there's like 7 people on it for what can only be described as months.
Yes.
Well, they probably sent Costner down diving. The Mariner grabbed some things, some supplies from way, way, way down below, brought them back up.
Okay,
Right?
sure.
Yeah. They did that.
Would the Mariner like being
In a
up that
balloon.
hie?
No, he'd freak the fuck out.
Right?
I don't
No, he
think so.
wouldn't like
I
it.
mean, he
Probably-
complains about walking onto the
Yeah.
atoll. You see him
Yeah.
like kind of wobble.
Or on
And
dry
then when he
land,
gets
clearly.
onto dry land, he's really like
Yeah.
discombobulated.
Dennis Hopper, we can only presume, died in the fall.
Maybe.
He
I
blows
doubt,
up.
I
Never
doubt
saw
it.
He
though.
blows up once the girl gets pulled out, and the three of them.
That's true.
Yeah.
He probably died.
Yeah, I think he blew up.
You're ready for a sequel?
Yep.
You made it?
Yeah.
Now the child has a wacky hat. I think I said that in my notes too, Scott. I'm like, the balloon fits a lot of people now.
Yep.
So they find Hawaii.
That is Hawaii,
Right.
yes.
AKA Everest.
Everest.
There is, and I guess because that's part of Waterworld logic, is it became tropical.
Yeah.
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 Right. So yeah,
That
they
makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
and it
Why
looks
not?
just like Hawaii. Of
I mean,
all
if the world
things.
heats up enough to melt the polar caps,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
So they go from Denver to Tibet.
Yes.
It's a long journey.
Do we know how long that would take?
They don't ever say.
They don't.
But now that we know he knows how to fish,
And the old guy can steer his balloon.
teach a mariner to fish.
He's now an mariner because he's living on a balloon.
Mariner.
So-
He's the mariner.
Right, but can we get there?
Oh well, okay, but hold on. So we're
No,
on
we
Hawaii.
can't get there.
We're on Hawaii.
Okay, good. We're on dry
We're on
land.
dry land.
Right.
And then there's that man who I guess he was like, but he was the lawman. He was fair marshal
Right,
of the atoll.
yeah.
When he says, I think they used to put them under the dirt. I think it was their way. What the fuck do you know about dirt and dead bodies? And it was their way. It's so fucking silly. I was like,
He reads National Geographic magazine.
yeah, I guess they had one up in the thing.
They had to look at the little boobies. That's why they had them. But then you could learn other things too.
Who knew?
Sure.
That's an old joke. Come on, from like the way back when.
And
I don't know. I think it's passed into the.
It's
to
forgotten.
the time
Too
of
many generations have
mythology.
passed. Damn.
Enola's happy. She I guess
says,
remembers
I'm
this.
home.
I'm home.
That was pretty
And isn't it the way that-
regurgitative.
we were laughing at the way Kevin Costner through the whole movie says boat. He's like, it's my boat.
Hey, he speaks a lot of languages. He's been around a lot of people.
Yeah,
He's bound to pick up some interesting speaking habits.
some words.
He goes, it's my boat.
My boat.
It's my boat.
So,
Keanu Reeves lessons. Yes.
but old Keanu.
Old Keanu.
Old Keanu.
Oh, yeah. This is
there's
in
the-
that time
It
period,
was,
too.
The wild horses fucking slayed me. I was like, are you kidding me? And there's birds. And I'm like, they're all kind of like, they're not alarmed enough. Like, frankly, they're all kind of like, and it's like, they would be like, what the fuck is happening? What are these beasts of the air and the,
Well,
and the
they've
land?
seen some people before.
No, the people would be freaking out at the
Oh.
animals. I'm saying they'd be like, "Are these
Sorry.
food? Are these danger?" They would not. No, and it's
They
been
are
many.
brave Waterworld
It's
people.
been
They've
many
seen some
generations
shit.
since those animals would have seen a human too. So what are we gonna do? I felt like this movie ended so abruptly, and I feel like they were all like, you know what? Fuck this movie. We just need to we need to end it.
Yeah.
Kind of like this episode.
Wow. Sure pick. We're just telling the truth.
So Enola gets to the island. She
telling
finds
your
her
truth.
parents, who are dead. So she is what, 8 years old, 10 years old, 8 years old ish.
I think I pegged her around 8 years old.
Okay.
Sure.
So she gets pulled. So she gets tattooed as a baby, and then someone takes her from there and brings her to
Yeah.
the atoll. So
For no good reason.
yeah, like what happened there?
I guess they knew they were gonna die, so they're like, I know. Let's put our baby
in the basket.
in the bat like Moses,
Moses,
and it
yes.
will float to Denver eventually. No, that's a big one. That's a big
It would all
mystery.
worked out in the end.
They might have gotten the stork to deliver from the Cabbage Patch.
Yes. Maybe Jor-El sent her off in a
It was
So,
probably
space
Jor-El.
capsule.
I mean, there's something wrong with that island that's everyone has now died on it.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of Waterworld 2. They're being chased by the Yeti.
Oh, the Yeti made it.
Yeah.
He's Bigfoot now because he's no snow.
True. Yes.
Yeah,
With
it's a good
gills.
question. Why did they die?
Old age? I don't. Yeah, we
I
don't
think
know.
their
We
baby
don't know.
was just not enough to breed, so there was like no children. Maybe she was the only child, so they all died of old age. Maybe.
Interesting.
So okay, I have a question for you. How fast do you think that balloon flew? Just
Well,
give me
when
a
it was
number.
laden with people, I'm sure it went a lot slower.
Yeah, not fast.
miles per hour.
15.
15 miles an hour. Okay,
10,
that's
10, 15.
I like 15 because that's exactly what I thought. So
That's why I like it.
15 miles an hour,
Right.
non-stop. It would take a little over 21 days to get from Denver to Mount Everest.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually,
I buy that.
not completely unreasonable.
Correct.
With
I buy that.
stopping for
I mean, it takes
stopping
80
for
days
food.
to go around the world in a balloon. So
Yeah, exactly.
That's
we know
right.
this for
And it's
fact.
okay.
And we're stopping to get food
And
and
peeing in a
stuff
cup.
and all that. Let's call it a month.
I don't know what they were burning for 21 days to
That
stay
was
in
the
the
one
air
thing
the
I was.
whole
Yeah,
time.
where'd the
but,
hot air come from? But
I mean,
probably the director of this movie.
probably
that
that
produced
little
it.
girl talking, but
Yeah, I think it was a different Enola at the end. Maybe that's why he took their hair. He's like, someday we're gonna need to burn this
Maybe.
to fuel my balloon.
So we've been talking about this movie for an hour now, if not a little bit more. Surprisingly,
It's a long movie.
it's not as long as we thought,
it
but
actually really isn't that long.
Yeah,
anyway,
But-
this was plagued with, if you really want to know,
it was plagued with a lot of
It was
problems.
plagued with a lot of problems and a lot of egos, and the director Kevin Reynolds walked off before it ended, and
Kevin took in right.
Like that's for sure. Like
that's for sure.
That's not
Famously
Miyuko's-
said, Kevin Costner should only star in films he directs. That way he can work with his favorite actor and favorite director. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
I do remember.
and
all
then,
that,
you know,
yeah.
cost overruns. And then you guys probably don't remember this, but before this movie came out, all we heard about was like how expensive it was, how much it was cost, how much it was over budget. And that may have jaded some people, but
Absolutely.
I know I was there pretty much opening weekend to go see it at the old 6th Street, the United Artists at the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember they were calling it like Fish Star instead of
Fish
Ishtar.
Star and Kevin Gate.
Kevin
and-
Gate. Yeah, all these
Kevin Gate.
all these cute little names they came up with
Right.
instead of Heaven's Gate or whatever the hell it was. But
Heaven's Gate, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Marshall Applewhite.
no, it was a movie, wasn't
no,
it?
The
Well, Heaven's Gate's the cult.
There's a cult. Yeah.
yeah, the movie with
Stargate.
No.
Rupert Murdoch.
oh Jesus Christ.
Was it Albert Brooks?
I'm not.
Who was it? I can't remember now. I can't remember.
Hal Holbrook.
No.
Name them all. It's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll come to it. How about this? How about we play a birthday game and someone will look it up while we transition
no,
to the.
it's just Jesus Christ.
Scott can put
Wait.
up the bumper.
Shirley MacLaine's brother.
Really quick, because this is a very important text that we received from somebody. I don't know if you've
Wait,
seen
breaking
it.
news.
Wonderful.
No. This is kind of cool. Enola is
Is alone
alone
backwards.
backwards.
Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional, but Warren Beatty.
You know what?
Oh yeah.
This movie needs every bit of cool stuff, so I'm gonna go with it.
That's a really funny point about the tattoo too, Todd. That it would be like
Yeah.
maybe the map is actually that's it stretched out and it doesn't look right, and that's why it looks like an arrow. It's because that's where it ended up.
It was originally just the size of a coin.
And what's funny though is how the old guy all of a sudden realizes because they pull her up.
Upside
He looks at her
down,
upside down
that's-
coming into the boat. He's like, "Oh, I get it now."
Right.
And like, if I look this way and do this, it's over here. It's like, really, dude?
Right.
Just
Really,
looking
dude?
at it upside down, all of a sudden you get it.
He's been staring at her back for 8 years,
Right.
and he's suddenly
And
like.
never,
Anyway.
Well, he was really big on the flying machine. You know how it is in Waterworld.
Yeah.
All right.
Nothing makes sense in Waterworld. Play that bumper. We're back. Caleb's got a game prepared for us.
I've got a
Birthday game.
game.
Birthday game.
I want to
Warren
make sure
Betty.
you guys have your boards
We got boards.
and you have push pins.
We have push
And
pins.
I
Do you
did
guys
not.
remember these boards?
Hold
we
on
had
one
this
second.
before. We're doing the board game again.
The board game. The
The
board
board
game.
game.
We
Warren
like
Beatty
the
board
the
game.
Warren Beatty board game. We like the board game. Eat 'em up, yum.
These are mine. Do I have to eat them?
Thank you.
All right.
Are they pies?
Okay.
Do we all have the same?
Feel free to. You all have the same. So this is the same game that we played with Neil.
Okay.
Only, as it is my
Oh, I'm so sorry.
birthday,
I'm sorry.
it's my birthday, so I thought I would give you a
I'm sure.
list of actors,
You just put this here.
Oh shit! This is a lot of names.
and so there should be 10 with 2 extra, just like last time.
Okay.
So 12.
And you need to put them from oldest to youngest,
Oh.
As in their age.
as in their age. Yes.
Then why are there two
Oldest
extras?
to youngest.
Yeah, why are there 2 extras?
Just to throw you off, just like last. They're not going to count.
Holy
Remember we had
Christ
2
almighty.
extras last time with
Okay.
the. Do you not remember?
I remember, but I mean, they don't not have ages. The extra 2 people in this game
Right.
don't not
But
have
they
ages.
do not fall into the top 10. They would be in the top 12, and we're only doing 10.
I do have a couple questions.
Okay.
Who is Jeffrey Wright?
Jeffrey Wright, you know him from Westworld.
Oh yes, I think he was
Oh,
in the
and-
Hunger Games movies too.
In the new movie.
And
the-
he's
yeah,
also
and he was just nominated for an
He was
award,
also
yeah.
in American Fiction.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Anyone else you don't know? Scott?
Zach Galligan.
he's-
Billy from Gremlins and
Oh,
your
Billy.
and your
Isn't he in Waxwork?
A lot of these
Yes,
people,
yes,
and
yes.
Waxwork, yeah.
So, for some reason, when I first looked at this, I thought it said
Zach
Galifianakis. Yeah,
That's what you just talked about.
Billy
He's
from Gremlins.
and Waxwork.
or
the main guy in
Waxwork.
Waxwork.
he's the lead in Gremlins.
The leading Gremlins.
So think about when Gremlins was.
Oh, Billy.
Okay, it takes
I've
place.
seen it once.
Yeah.
Wow.
It takes place in the 80s, and he was probably a late teen, early 20s. That's your little
Okay.
context.
Okay, here's something I'm gonna give you guys a little help right now.
Okay.
Zach Galligan just turned 60. So just so you know that.
So we're going youngest to
Thanks.
oldest.
I'm just
Youngest-
helping.
Oldest to youngest. Number 1 will be the oldest.
And
For you at home,
I was gonna say, yeah, she told me there are.
on the list we have.
this is rough.
It's really rough.
Hold on.
Oh wait.
Wait a moment. Where'd my list go?
No, come back.
This requires like a lot of brain power.
It does require a lot of brain power. Sorry,
Rough.
guys.
No, it's okay. I like a challenge. I'm just frightened.
I want you, and I want. Nope.
I would read out some names, but then I'd just be reading my list prematurely.
Oh, that's
So,
okay. I won't judge you for
Ralph Macchio's on here. Keanu Reeves is on
Jesus.
here.
The problem is when it's there's two names that are not counted. You're like,
yeah, there are.
that's
rules.
just a random. You just gotta guess
Yeah.
who Caleb has disqualified from the game. Which one has been yeeted from the board?
The board.
Who has been
Oh, where did I put
exiled
that? Where did I
Okay,
put that one guy?
I
from Waterworld?
think I have
it.
it.
If you're ready, then we can.
I'm not quite there.
Yeah, no, that's
I just kind of threw these in. I don't know.
I know. Well, the first one's always kind of.
Okay, so you guys might want to grab some pens because I'm going to be writing. Remember,
Mine.
there's another one.
Sucker.
I don't know if that one works.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yep. Okay. Someone's got to talk while we're doing this, so it's not all dead
Yeah.
silence.
Okay, so sorry. On the list, the 12 people we have, we've got
I'm still trying to
Viola
finish.
Davis, we've got Benicio del Toro, we've got Zach Galligan, we have Jeffrey Wright, we've got Ralph Macchio, we've got Robert Downey Jr., we've got Selma Hayek,
Ooh,
we've got Paul Giamatti, we have Michelle Yeoh, we have Julia Roberts,
works. We can
and
share
we
it.
have Kiefer Sutherland.
Let's get together. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're
Okay.
going oldest to youngest.
Okay.
All right. I think we have it. We have our first run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any volunteers to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Should I hold
Okay.
it up or?
Yeah,
am I-
You
please.
can hold it up, but please try to go slow. I have to sort
Okay.
of mark things down. I'm kind of worried about this.
I guess you just read it off.
Okay,
then.
Yeah.
I've got Kiefer Sutherland,
For what?
oldest.
Okay.
Right.
Robert
For
Downey
what?
Jr.,
Okay.
Keanu Reeves,
Okay.
Julia Roberts,
All right.
Paul Giamatti,
Okay.
Salma Hayek,
Okay.
Ralph Macchio,
All right.
Benicio del Toro,
Okay.
Viola Davis,
Got it.
and I don't know who Michelle Yeoh is. So
Oh,
She won
everything
the
everywhere
Academy
all at
Award
once.
last year. Best Actress.
Everything Everywhere All.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The mom. None of those are correct.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'll go.
Neil.
I'll go. My number 1,
Yes.
Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
Number 2, Michelle Yeoh.
All right.
Number 3, Kiefer.
All right.
Number 4, Benicio.
Okay.
Number 5, Zach Galligan.
Okay.
Number 6, Julia
Okay.
Roberts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to clarify.
Julia.
Number 7, Jeffrey Wright.
Okay.
Number 8, Keanu Reeves.
All right.
Number 9, Salma Hayek.
Okay.
Number 10, Ralph Macchio.
Machio. Okay. Who's your number 7 again?
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright. Okay. That is correct.
Number 7?
Number 7.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought like the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
I got it in one. A hole in one.
Sandra.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I threw Julia and Benicio to the curb.
Okay.
Literally just picked 2 at random.
Okay.
I have Michelle Yeoh, Zach Galligan, not Fernakis. So Michelle Yeoh, Zach Galligan, Kiefer Sutherland, Ralph Macchio, Keanu Reeves, Jeffrey Wright, Paul Giamatti, Viola Davis, Robert Downey Jr., Salma Hayek. Probably none of those.
None of those are correct.
Nope, none of those are right.
Now, and I'm sorry, and I literally just remembered now that if you were off one, Neil was giving you a clue that you could move it up or down.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have forgotten about that. I will
Okay.
try to implement
in the
that
next round.
in the next round.
Okay.
It's
Try.
not easy what
No.
Caleb was
But
doing.
it's
No,
this
it's
is
a
very.
I
yeah,
remember.
This is
I'd also like to know at what point, like, these, like, who's wrong? Like, who's not on the board?
well, so far all of yours are wrong,
No, I mean the 2 names that aren't on the, that just sort of have nothing to do with anything.
right? So far, if you were paying attention, Neil got one right. So
Keanu.
So Jeffrey Wright, we know what Jeffrey Wright is doing.
Yep. Don't move Jeffrey. Don't move it, Jeffrey.
Don't move it in Jeffrey. Caleb, you could talk to us about some of your favorite movies from these folks, or something to keep
Some of these
people
folks?
entertained.
Yeah. What's your favorite Keanu Reeves film?
I mean, I like a lot of them. That's gonna be hard to pick.
you know, I know The Matrix is highly regarded, and especially the first one is very good.
It is.
But I kind of fell in love with Keanu and Bill and Ted's, you know,
Mhm.
right off the bat.
Yep.
Definitely.
And I really, at the time, I don't know how it holds up, but I really enjoyed his character in Parenthood and the movie in general. Like, I just thought
Okay.
that was just a nice family Rob Reiner drama,
I haven't thought
you
about
know?
that movie in a long time.
right? I know, who has?
I don't know if I've ever seen Parenthood. I'll be honest.
I just saw it once.
Yeah. Well, it's-
Is Martha Plimpton? Is that who that is? Is she in that?
and Keanu Reeves are
Okay.
dating,
They're
if
a
I remember
couple.
correctly.
Yeah.
Maybe I have seen it.
I mean, I love so many of Keanu's things, even when he wasn't favorable. Like when everybody still made fun of him, I still
Like
liked him.
Dracula.
I love him in Dracula. Even though his accent's hilarious.
Yes.
I love him in Much Ado About Nothing. I fucking love that movie. I will die on that hill. He's only a bad guy because he has leather pants, and people tell him when he should eat and when he doesn't. That's like his whole like problem, and it, like, which is, you know, because it's one of Shakespeare's fun shows, so it's not that deep. But he's like, I'm just mad at my brother because I just wanted to do whatever I want. Love him in that. Bill and Ted's, of course.
What kind of music is Dog Star?
I would say that's grunge.
It's like a grungy rock and roll.
Yeah. Todd said he saw him a couple months ago.
I saw them.
Cool.
I saw them.
Actually, I remember you posting that, Todd.
You saw them?
I saw them in high school. They played at the Petaluma Fairgrounds.
Wow.
Yep.
They seem to have some of it like a resurgence, and I'm not sure if that's just because they've gotten better, or
He's gotten more
or
popular,
Keanu's gotten bigger, or, you know, I don't know. But
Alternative
anyway.
grunge rock as opposed to primary grunge rock?
Alternative slash.
All right, is everyone ready to try
Yeah,
this?
yeah,
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sandra, let's
Okay.
start with you.
I really At this point, I was just talking, and so I just
Okay.
threw it to the wind. Julia Roberts and Salma Hayek. I just forgot about their cards.
Okay.
So I started with Viola Davis, Michelle Yeoh, Ralph Macchio, Paul Giamatti, Keanu Reeves, Benicio del Toro, Jeffrey Wright, Robert Downey Jr. is back in it, Kiefer Sutherland, and Zach Galligan.
Okay, can you
And me.
reread just to make sure
Yeah.
your number 2?
Michelle Yeoh.
That is correct.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Your number 7.
Jeffrey Wright.
Okay, that is correct, obviously. And your number 9.
Kiefer.
That is correct.
Yeah, Kiefer.
Get your own.
Sure, you can look at mine and fill it in. We are sharing a fucking pen, people.
Scott.
Okay.
Oh, do I have any move arounds? And
Um,
upsies, downsies.
oh. Yes, where did you have Keanu?
Keanu's at number 5.
And number 5. You need to move Keanu up.
Nothing can stop him. He's all the way up.
Okay. Scott, I am ready for you. Round 2.
Okay,
Fight.
I've got Robert Downey Jr., Julia Roberts, Zach Galligan, Kiefer Sutherland, which we know is wrong, Keanu Reeves, which we know is wrong, Paul Giamatti, Jeffrey Wright, Salma Hayek, Viola Davis, Ralph Macchio.
Okay. So you've got number 3.
Ooh,
Correct.
okay.
Zach Galligan.
Zach Galley put a 3.
And then you've also got number 7 correct.
Yes.
It's Jeffrey Wright.
Where did you... I need to come up with a new mark about... Tell me your 4 and 5.
Kiefer Sutherland and Keanu Reeves, respectively.
Okay.
Please put some
you need
respect
to
on it.
move Keanu Reeves down.
What? But you told Sandra she had to move hers.
We both had him in 5.
Something.
Is a miss.
It's okay.
You...
Up or down?
It's like a fucking crossword.
You had it 5. You had it
Keanu
5.
Reeves.
Okay, yes, you need to move it up then. Sorry.
It's okay.
It's okay, we're just keeping you
My
honest.
apologies.
No.
That's
It's
why
hard.
I don't like this up and down thing.
It's
We don't
hard.
have to do it.
It's hard.
We don't have to do it.
Neil.
Okay.
What you got?
My number 1 is Paul Giamatti. My number 2 is Kiefer. We know it's wrong. My number 3 is Michelle. We know it's wrong. My number 4 is Benicio del Toro. We know it's wrong. Number 5 is Julia Roberts. Number 6, Zach
Hey,
Galligan.
don't be moving yet.
Which
Just
we know
hold your horses.
Yeah, I don't care about that
I'm just
rule.
trying to
and
kill
I'm not,
some
and
dead
I'm,
air. Thank
and
you.
I'm not going to make you sit out like you guys made me. Neil, continue.
One round.
Zach Galligan, number
You sat
6,
here
we know is
right now,
wrong.
so-
Jeffrey
Okay.
Wright, number 7. Keanu Reeves, number 8, we know is wrong. Number 9, Mr. Ralph Macchio. And then number 10, Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek. Okay.
Come on, baby. Give me a Ralph.
Um,
Give me a Salma.
well, you got Jeffrey Wright.
Yep.
Why did you say we know that Benicio was wrong?
Because number 4 is Keanu.
Oh, I see. Well, we don't know that he's 4.
You
Neil,
do.
can you give me your
We do.
6 through 10 again? I'm sorry.
No problem. Zach Galligan, number 6.
Okay,
Jeffrey Wright, number 7.
that's correct.
Keanu, number 8.
Okay,
Ralph Macchio, number 9.
okay,
Salma Hayek, number 10.
okay. Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay, cool.
That's all you got.
So I thought I misunderstood. I thought it was like he was saying like the clue was to move up or down. Didn't mean literally one space. It meant they just have to be up in the line, up or down. That's how I thought with the other game too.
Is that how it was?
I just
No,
don't remember.
I meant you can. I was gonna give you one.
It's literally one.
If you
move
are
up or down.
one
away.
one away,
Yeah.
I will tell you which
Gotcha.
direction to move.
This
Okay.
is oldest to youngest, right?
This
Yes.
is oldest to youngest, correct?
All right, redo.
All right.
I thought for sure Paul Giamatti was going to be my next number 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised by that. I was.
I'm going with a
Let's
crazy guess.
put in
here.
everybody we know.
Let's do that.
Let's put in everything we know to be true.
Sandra, you know
Thank you,
it's
Todd.
true.
You're right. It's my game, and I can do whatever I want.
I can do whatever I want.
Screw you guys. I'm going.
Who would you like me to talk about next?
How about
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr. That's an interesting, because back in the 80s and 90s, he always played like the prick, the jerk.
Mm-hmm.
Except for one movie that I really
forgot about these
liked,
people.
I think it's called Begin Again.
You get stabbed.
you put it through?
Oh, did you put it
in your
through?
leg?
Oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, fun time.
Dang.
Poor creature.
I've actually done that a
Begin
couple times.
Again.
I'm still thrown up, but I don't know who the
that
fuck is
wasn't
not in
I
anything.
know. It's kind of like a.
Is this the last round, or is there one more round after
it.
this?
I have a bunch more spaces.
I don't want to put Viola so far up. I'll get in trouble.
Well,
I
there's
can't
nothing
believe I
wrong with
can't
being
remember the name of the
aged.
movie now that I liked him in, but it starred Sybil Shepherd, and it was one of those body shifting, like
Who? Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.
his
I don't know what movie that is.
the character he was dies, and he is engaged to or married to Sybil Shepherd. He goes to heaven. They forget to give him an injection so that when he's reincarnated, he forgets everything. And so
It has the same name as an old 50s song, and I just can't remember.
and I can't. And then
Yes.
Peter Cetera and Cher did the song for it.
What the fuck?
I just blanking on the name. Like I'm blanking on
Chad,
everything.
help us.
Chat, is this real?
We ready yet?
Yeah, I'm ready. I just, I don't feel good about it, but I'm
I
ready.
know.
I don't feel good about it, but I'm ready as I'm gonna be.
Okay, Neil.
Yo.
Oh, are you still going? Sorry.
Literally the last one.
I heard people say they're ready, and then I just
Okay,
assumed
okay.
you were.
Okay.
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 All right.
Okay. Number one,
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong.
Number two, Michelle Yeoh.
No.
Number three, Zach Galligan.
Okay.
Number four, Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
Number five, I got Julia.
Okay.
Number six, I got Paul Giamatti.
Okay.
Number seven, Jeffrey Wright. Number eight, Viola Davis. Number nine, Kiefer Sutherland. And number 10, Benicio del Toro.
Okay.
I'm grasping at straws.
So you have Michelle Yeoh at
Two.
that is correct.
Yep.
Zach Galligan
3.
is correct.
This is all canon.
Keanu at 4.
is correct.
Julia
Uh,
at 5.
no, incorrect. 6 is incorrect. You have Jeffrey Wright. Number 9,
Kiefer.
correct. And number 10,
Benicio.
correct.
Oh, I got correct.
Oh.
Yeah.
So Benicio's number 10.
Okay.
That's nice for him.
Put it anywhere.
Scott.
Okay. I have
Lucky pen.
Selma Hayek,
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh,
Right.
Zach Galligan,
Correct.
Keanu Reeves,
Some hike ain't that old.
Viola Davis.
You tripping.
She is.
I think she actually is.
Yeah.
Robert Downey Jr.,
There's something wrong with being old.
Jeffrey Wright,
Yo, it is.
Julia Roberts, Kiefer Sutherland, Ralph Macchio.
Ralph
We know it's
Macchio.
wrong.
Okay. So 2 is now canon, right?
Yeah.
2 is
Okay.
canon.
2 is canon. 3 is canon.
4
4
is
is
canon.
canon. Number 5, you had.
Yes.
No. What?
Oh.
Who did you have? Sorry.
Look at excited.
I'll tell you.
Viola
It's correct.
Davis.
You had Viola Davis at 5.
What's up, Arnie's?
You need to move that up. Number 6, you had.
Wait, if Viola Davis was at
You can move
5,
that
she can't move
up.
up. She'd be taking.
Unless she's taking
Canon.
first space.
Viola Davis at 5.
Yeah.
Did I tell you?
I have Viola
is
Davis at 5, and you said that I had to move her up.
Viola Davis is.
But
at
that would be
5.
taking Keanu.
Who is canon?
Viola Davis is not at 5 though.
That's who I had at 5.
You have Viola Davis at
At
5.
5.
Right. So you need to move her down.
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Who did you have at 6?
Robert Downey Jr.
You need to move Robert Downey Jr. up.
Okay.
7 is canon.
Yep.
Your 8 is incorrect.
Okay.
9 is canon. Your 10 is incorrect.
Okay.
5 is real bitter.
2, 2, 2. Is that everyone? No, Sandra.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. No.
Okay.
Ralph Macchio is number 1.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh is 2.
Right.
Zach Galligan's 3. Keanu Reeves is 4. I mistakenly said Benicio at 5. Robert Downey Jr. at 6. Jeffrey Wright at 7. I'd put Viola Davis at 8. Kiefer's Cannon and Julia Roberts at 10.
Making a mess, you guys. Okay. Your number 1 is correct.
Fuck yes! Ralph Macchio, come through!
And let's see. Ralph, that was correct. 2 is canon. 3 is canon. 4 is canon.
Number 8 is the only one we don't know.
Where did you have Robert?
Yeah, I had Robert at 6, but we know he's 5.
Okay, so you gotta move him up.
Move that asshole.
7 is canon.
Yep.
8, who did you have?
I had Viola, but
Okay,
we know she's
wrong.
6. Yeah.
Keys 9 is canon.
Yep.
And 10 is incorrect.
Okay.
So I don't know if you saw Army V said the movie is Chances Are.
Chances are.
Chances
Chances
are.
are.
That's
Very
it.
good, Army.
That's it.
All right. Let's.
I don't know. It's one of those weird, like, romantic comedies that I saw
Yeah.
when I was a kid. That was like, I like that movie. And no one ever plays it on any of the streaming
So at
services.
this
Interesting.
point, there's only one that's not canon,
Yep.
and there's only 3 options left.
Yep.
So I feel like we're kind of going for the win on this last one.
Well, when then?
Yeah, we know 1 through 7 for sure. It's just 8 we don't know for everybody watching at home. And our options to put in number 8.
Is Julia Roberts, Paul Giamatti, and Salma Hayek.
So they would land between Jeffrey Wright and Kiefer Sutherland. So can we talk this out a little bit for funsies and to fill the air?
Please.
So we know that Julia starred with Kiefer in Flatliners.
Yep.
Yes.
Salma Hayek is, I believe, like, she's not quote unquote old, but I mean, I think she's at least 50.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Paul Giamatti's probably closer to 60.
If not in his early 60s.
I think Paul Giamatti's out. At
Yeah, I
this
think
point,
he's out. I agree.
because I think he's older than Robert Downey Jr.
So now we just have to decide. I think I'm going to put in Julia at number 8.
I'm putting in Julia as
I
well.
got Julia as well.
Where you
All right.
where you were united on Julia.
Yeah.
Julia at 8.
Yeah.
Julia at 8.
That is incorrect.
Wow!
Who's number 8?
Son of a...
Who's number 8?
Number 8 is Salma Hayek.
It is Salma Hayek. That was my.
Yeah.
She was my
second
ringer.
choice.
So Paul Giamatti and Julia Roberts
How old are they?
Are not old.
not
Are not
belong.
aged.
Army Beef, get out of here then. Cheated.
How
Paul-
old is everybody? Can you read them off?
Yeah, absolutely. Ralph Macchio, November 4th, 1961. He is 62 years old.
Great.
Michelle Yeoh,
Wow.
August 6, 1962, 61. Zach Galligan, February 14th, 1964, 60 years old.
As we know
As
from-
Neil told us.
You're welcome.
Keanu Reeves, September 2nd, 1964, 59. And
He's got a
still
big
kicking
birthday.
ass.
Got a big birthday coming up.
Right? Robert Downey Jr., April 4th, 1965, 58 years old. Viola Davis, August 11th, 1965, 58 years old.
Viola's one of those people it's really hard to pin an age on. So she was throwing me off a lot.
Yeah. Jeffrey Wright, December 7th, 1965, 58 years old.
He's a Sagittarius like me.
Salma Hayek, September 2nd, 1966, 57 years old. Kiefer Sutherland, December 21st, 1966, also 57 years old.
He's a Sagittarius.
Wow.
Benicio del Toro, February 19th, 1967, 56 years old. Which
He's a
means
spring chicken.
our two liars,
The
or
liars.
tricksters, are two of these do not belong. Paul Giamatti, June 6, 1967, 56
Wow.
years old.
56.
Wow.
Someone, I believe, had him at number 1.
I
as
did.
the
We,
oldest
yeah,
at
and
one
I thought for
point.
sure he was like gonna be up there.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something.
What?
I created this whole game because of Paul Giamatti. Because when I looked him up, I was like, no way.
he's
He's
not
older
that
than
age.
that.
Yeah. Wow.
Absolutely.
He plays older.
And then Julia Roberts, October 28th, 1967, 56 years old.
That sounds about
That's
right.
really cool.
Thank you, Caleb. I
Thank
know it's
you.
really
That's a
hard.
lot.
Thank you for bearing with me. That is really not hard. I mean, very hard to keep
I was
track.
like, wait a minute, the truth comes out.
It's really hard to talk. I mean, I even had a grid Neil suggested that I make where I can like X or, and
Make
that
notes.
was very helpful
Yeah,
for sure.
to do a grid.
Except for telling you which direction to move things.
Yeah, it's you're not ready for it. You're not ready for it. But hey,
No one's ready for it.
guess what? You guys are going to see us again in 2 weeks. Provided
Get ready for it.
Sandra and Scott don't kill us over our picks. I don't know. Anyway, 2 weeks from today, it's my turn to pick, and I am going to steer us back to the cult film series. We're going to pick the film that's coming up next there. A little film from Italy. Caleb's favorite country for films, Italy. Cemetery Man. You are welcome, Internet. We are going to talk about Cemetery Man.
Cemetery.
AKA
It's in the cult film series to watch it.
That's right, you could do that. But it's also known as Della Morte Della More is the original name before America took it and gave it a new one. But there you go.
We love to do that.
Freaking America.
Americans. Anyway, hey y'all, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. Go check out Cemetery Man on Shudder, or you can join us at the Cult Film Series.
Do both.
Or do both, yeah. Why not? Anyway, peace out.
Happy
birthday, Caleb!
Thank you, everybody.
I'm a unicorn.
Thank you,
Army.
Appreciate you so much out tonight. We've got Army B, Kristen Stanmore, Mark Vision Scoop, Miss Horror Movie Addict, Mindy, Vanilla King, Miss Laura, Pod People in the Future. If you'd like to buy some merch, go to www.thecultshow.com. In our live studio audience tonight, we have the Reverend Michael, and of course, running things as always. We couldn't do this without him. Thank you very much. Appreciate you all.
Bye.